Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am your host, John F. Thomas, and I know it's been a week, maybe almost a little over a week, but I'm back. I have been busy. I've been out of town, spending time with my family, and I'm just glad to be back here with you all. So, if you're just now tuning in, I want you to make sure that you are hitting that like button. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Black Boss channel. That's where the JT effect is on. And I love to talk with you all on this channel. I mean, it's great to be here with you all. Hope everybody had a really, really great Thanksgiving, that you were able to spend time with your family and friends. If not, I hope you had a good time just spending it with yourself amongst your friends, just being safe, because, it's really dangerous out there. The pandemic is still going on. A lot of things are still up in the air with everything going on today, but I'm glad that you all are still able to tune in with us. Again, if you're tuning in, make sure you're hitting this like button so that more people can see it and can hear this message. I'm going to keep it real short today, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, just type in B1, so that way everybody know that in here we are Black first before anything else, or Black first before Democrat, Black first before Republican, all of it across the board. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, like I said, I just flew back in town to LA from Tennessee. And while I was waiting at the airport, the one of the stewardess, or the employees that were working there, they were speaking over the intercom, and they were letting us know that before we can come back into LA, because there was a new mandate that was issued out saying that travelers who are traveling, because of the increased numbers of the cases of people testing positive for COVID, that they had to sign a mandate saying that they will quarantine for 14 days. And it was definitely required. So I guess they were trying not to go about doing that. I see you, Reggie, typing in B1. I appreciate that. They are requiring everybody to come in, and I will show you exactly what that is. Let me pop that up for you so that way you can see what I'm talking about. Let me see here. All right, cool. So I'm sharing this from NBC. So it says travelers arriving in Los Angeles now required to sign form acknowledging quarantine recommendation. And they're trying to say this in like basically a nice way, but still, as I felt kind of ways about it. So I was like, all right, cool. So let me just go ahead and go through this so y'all can see what it's talking about. So I'll just read. It says, starting today, travelers arriving in Los Angeles will have to sign a form acknowledging the state's recommended 14-day self-quarantine. The form, which can be completed on travel.lacity.org prior to or on arrival, will greet arrivals at LAX, Van Nuys Airport, and Union Station. All travelers over the age of 16 will be required to sign the form. And it says public health officials have been urging people to not travel for the holidays. And the state of California, Washington, and Oregon this month issued a travel advisory recommending that people avoid any non-essential out-of-state travel. And the people who do travel should self-quarantine for 14 days. So Los Angeles County had a similar recommendation in place, suggesting that people who travel out of the area self-quarantine for 14 days upon their return. However, the recommendations are not mandates. So they're saying that this is a recommendation, but it is mandated that you have to sign this form. So it's like they're trying to, use these words to kind of trick you. And I'll show you this other form here. Let me see. So I guess you all saw that. So let me show you. You can, as you can probably tell, I felt a certain way upon seeing that, because I was just like, wait, I have to sign this form saying that I have to do this. And it's just like, well, why do I need to sign this form? So, and it's mandatory. They said it's mandatory to sign a form, but it's not mandatory that you quarantine. It's recommended. So it's just like, okay, now you're just trying to use confusing words to throw people off. And that's just the start of a slippery slope. Like, I guess I'm one of those people. I don't really like being told what to do per se, because we live in America. And although I'm being safe, just to let everybody know I'm out there, I'm being safe. And for everybody that's tuning in, if you're watching it, make sure you're hitting the like button again, and subscribe to the Black Boss channel that you're watching here. So I'm being safe and everything like that, washing my hands, have my mask on, practicing the 6 feet distance. And I got my test prior to leaving out of town, right? So because I was going to go see my parents, because LA is so expensive, I can't spend the money to see them as much as I want. And I haven't really been able to be home, be at my parents' house and stuff like that. So they've been practicing safely and washing and wiping down everything. So I was just like, you know what, if I test positive, I'm not going to fly. So that's me taking personal accountability. That's me being responsible. So I tested negative. So I was like, all right, I can go see my family. I went out there for a week, make sure I came in, I was wiping things down, making sure that my parents were doing what they were supposed to do. I was doing what I was supposed to. We were all checking each other, making sure we were all fine. We were all doing what we were supposed to be doing. Just to get to the airport and just being told that now I have to sign this form. So that moves me over to, okay, so what does this form say? Let's go to the page where it's talking about this form. This Los Angeles Traveler Health Form. Let me show you that. So, right, as you can see there, it says to stop the spread of COVID-19, Los Angeles is requiring again, all travelers entering the city from another state or country to fill out this online form, acknowledging they have read and understood California's travel advisory. And let me just skip to this part here. Failure to submit the form is punishable by a fine up to $500. So if you don't sign this, you will be punished with the fine of $500. And so I was just like, okay, like what is going on here? So it's really interesting because I was talking with a few friends of mine, and they're very smart individuals, and they were all basically saying what they were kind of afraid of. One of the guys, Ellis Fowler, he was on here before. And again, if everybody is tuning in, if you're watching, please hit the like button so that more people can see this and we can get this out. So because we need people to really be aware of what's happening here. And I remember Ellis and I were talking, and he was saying one thing that he's kind of afraid of is places like California, like New York, where you do have these big spikes in cases, but also they are pretty progressive and almost progressive to the point to where they can start infringing on people's rights, right? So that with that being said, it's like what will they eventually do? Because this vaccine, they're really trying to push this vaccine out. And I was listening to NPR the other day, and the host Larry Mantle was talking to a doctor, and he was asking the doctor about these vaccines. And I remember one question in specific, and I mean in particular, that he was asking him. He said, okay, so what about the side effects? What about people who are afraid of the side effects? Like, what do you have to say to them? And basically he danced around the entire conversation. He might as well have been a politician. He was dancing around the conversation. He was like, well, yeah, I think, it's a lot of people who are just kind of, afraid of what's happening and things like that. And, because of Trump and all of these things. And, it's scaring people. But I think that it's fine. We've been testing and we've been doing these things. So, and after a while, Larry, because I was sitting there thinking, it's like, you're not answering the question. Like, you're not answering the question towards people's fear of this vaccine, because this is the first time we've ever rushed a vaccine this fast. I mean, it is, like I said, Donald Trump called it Operation Warp Speed, just so we can kind of get the economy back to where it was and all of these things. But it is scary because if you rush a vaccine like this, typically, I think they say vaccines take about 6 to 7 years in order for them to get all the kinks out, right? Because you never know when you're trying a new drug, when you're trying something experimental, there's all kind of side effects. Even the FDA, they don't just push things out, because you can't just be selling this product, right? And you're giving it to people, and these people might affect their brain chemistry. It might affect their heart. It might do some kind of crazy, you might just be dozing off randomly while driving. Who knows what all these side effects are, and they need to be tested. That's why a lot of times they test these things on animals. And I know there's people out there, oh, don't hurt the animal. We got to test them on somebody. So we try to test them on animals, and then we move over to human experiments, just for those who are willing. And they pay these people not because it's like, hey, we just want to give you money, but because it's dangerous. I'm paying you this because it's experimental. We don't know what's going to happen. If I'm giving you this drug, your arm might fall off. We don't know. I think there was one of the drugs, and they were really quiet about it. One of the drugs they talked about in the vaccine that they they gave a person a shot of the vaccine, and I think their spine swelled. You heard me right. Their spine swelled after getting this test vaccine, doing the testing. It was earlier this year. And so they were like, "Ooh, it's not going the way we wanted. Let's kind of slide that under the rug. Let's go back to the drawing board on that one." And I saw something else that I think this guy's tongue swelled up. I don't know if that's true. That might be, maybe it's fake news. I don't know. If anybody doesn't know about that, please let me know in the chat. I'm not sure, but this is very high risk, with these vaccines. And the reason why I was saying with this travel advisory that I had to sign to come back into LA, saying that and again, for everybody that's just not one, if you're just not tuning in, please make sure you're hitting this like button so more people can see this. People need to know about what's going on and what could potentially come. So hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the Black Boss channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, it's a great channel. We have great stuff here, things like this that I want to bring to you. So I'll show again for everybody that's just not, if you didn't see it before, I'll show it one more time, and I'll do it a little bit more quickly. But LA is requiring that people are signing this form acknowledging a quarantine recommendation. And so basically towards the end of it, they're saying it's not mandatory, it's a recommendation, but it's mandatory that I sign. And also, I'll show you this as well. For those who weren't able to see what I showed earlier, let me pull that up for you. Okay, so this is the Los Angeles Traveler Health Form. This is a website you have to go to sign this traveler form if you're coming into Los Angeles. Also, I think it's also for Oregon, and I forgot the other state. But anyway, so this is specifically for Los Angeles, though. So it says to stop the spread of COVID-19, Los Angeles is requiring all travelers entering the city from another state or country to fill out this online form. Acknowledge that they have read and understood California's travel advisory. And basically just skip ahead to this. Failure to submit the form is punishable by a fine up to $500. So they will punish you if you don't sign the form. So I felt like my hands were tied. I felt like my hands were tied at that point. And it's just like, well, I'm already not making that much money because we're in a pandemic. And also on top of it, you're going to charge me $500, money that I don't have, just to sign this form. And like I said, I was talking to friends earlier where they were saying that they fear with this vaccine and all these side effects that is being rushed. Nothing has ever been rushed like this before because they usually take a long time, years, for vaccines to get approved because they want to really make sure they work out all the kinks before they give you anything that could damage you for the rest of your life, completely change you, something about you for the rest of your life. Because once something is damaged, it's hard to repair your body back to the peak of what it was. So we all do know that. So, but basically my friend was saying, let me get back to that he was saying he was afraid that if once the vaccine comes out and they basically, start giving it out to people, that after a while, they're going to start saying, hey, well, look, we're not going to force you to take the vaccine. Right. So it kind of goes back to this form where it's like, no, it's not. We're not, mandating you to quarantine. We recommend it, but you have to sign this form or we will fine you for $500. So it's like a lot of confusion. Like, wait, what? I don't have to do, but I have to do this, but I don't have to do that. But you'll punish me if I don't do this. So it's a lot of like mental gymnastics that they're doing there to confuse you, to make it seem like, oh, we're not forcing you to do anything, but we're forcing. We're like, it's like a soft force, a soft push. We're making you do something because you're going to do it or we're going to fine you. But basically, he was afraid that if you don't take the vaccine, that they will probably come up with some kind of a law, something similar to this, is that you can't enter into certain stores. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go get gas. So where maybe they have, hey, have you signed this form? Maybe they give you a card. It's a green card or something like that, or maybe a blue card, something to acknowledge that I have taken a vaccine. Same thing like how you go in a lot of these places now, where it's just like you can't come in without a mask. You have to wear a mask. And maybe that's the start of the slippery slope, which I'm not even really stressing about that, because we do need to wear a mask. So at least something to combat, because I don't want to get sick. But what if it gets to the point to where, because as you can see, I just showed you the form. What if it gets to that point to where you can't grocery shop, you can't eat unless you got this vaccine? So you take the vaccine, we're going to give you this yellow card, whatever. I'm going through all the colors. We're going to give you this yellow card. So that shows that you've taken a vaccine. So now when you go to the grocery store and it's just like, oh, okay, you need a mask. Of course, you need your mask. Also, do you have your yellow card? Oh, well, I didn't get, oh, so sorry. You have to be vaccinated if you're going to come in here. I'm sorry about that. But, but I have to eat. I'm sorry. That's the law. That's the law. You don't have to. You don't have to, but in order to come up in here, you have to. So you see what I'm saying? You see, like that's one of the Oh, somebody put one guy had an enlarged tongue. Okay, yeah, that's what I saw. I didn't get a chance to read about it, but that's crazy. That's one of the side effects of the vaccine that people are talking about. Now, going back to that NPR conversation I was having where the doctor was, tiptoeing all around the question. So the host asked him a question again. He was like, okay, well, okay, I have a friend who's in the ER. And even he was saying, now this is another doctor that's working in the hospital. He was saying that he's not comfortable with these vaccines being pushed out and rushed like they are. And he was saying, can you speak to that? And the doctor was like, yeah, well, it's a lot of, people are afraid and things like that, and especially with the Trump administration and all this stuff is going on. It's a lot of, the things that, they're questioning a lot of stuff. But he's like, hey, but you know what? I'll be the first. I'll be one of the first to step in line and take the vaccination because, I trust it. We've been doing some testing. We've been doing a lot of testing, and I'll be the first to step in line. But then again, as you can see, he was stepping all around the issue. He didn't answer the question relating to what that doctor's fear was. And basically he ended up saying, he kind of told on himself after a while. He ended up saying that, hey, well, in regards to side effects and things like that, we won't know. We really won't know until it happens. So basically he was saying, I'm willing to risk all of these people being affected in some way, shape, or form or another, just to have a peace of mind. Hey, you got vaccinated. If people die, people die. If people are affected and they can't operate normally like they used to, well, that's just a cost to do what we got to do. So he's willing to put my life and all of your lives on the line just to get this vaccine out, not really trying to be safe about it. And a lot of people are talking about the people on the right, where they're just like, oh, they're just going out there and they just doing whatever, they putting people at risk. Well, okay, on the completely opposite side, you have these people who are rushing out a treatment that hasn't really went through all the tests, went through all the rigorous, hoops and jumps and all the things that it has to go through in order to make sure that the people who are taking it are as safe as they can potentially be, or at least be aware of what they're taking and the risk associated with it. But they don't care. And they talk about the people on the right don't care. They don't care. They just take the vaccine. Take the vaccine, because that way at least we know people take. No, I'm not taking a vaccine. And plus, for me, there's been enough history out there, like the Tuskegee experiment. they're out there. They're already poisoning us, a lot of our communities, by dumping a lot of sewage and a lot of chemicals nearby our neighborhoods. And a lot of these things, like the cows are grazing on this land where it has all of this sewage and all of these dumps and all of these things, and they're ingesting that. The milk is coming to our stores in our communities, and we're ingesting all of this. So don't think that affects us. All of those things affect us. So we are the ones that are going to get hit. The Black community and other people, other communities that don't have a lot of money. They don't care. They just want this vaccine out, because guess what? When the vaccine comes out, they're going to make money. Pfizer and Moderna, they're getting really, really close, and they're really trying to push this vaccine out. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not. This is not what I'm here. I'm just telling you this so that you can be aware. Be aware of what's going on, because this is something that they are trying to. I mean, they were trying to get a lot of Black people in there, and I do understand. It's like, well, we need to see how this is affecting Black people, but at the same time, they always want to test us. They always want to use us as guinea pigs. No, use your own people. Use everybody else. Leave Black people out of it until you have a good idea of, like, okay, this is what we have really got. We tested a lot of white people, so millions and millions of white people have been tested. Okay, we know that Black people, you've gone through enough. You've gone through enough. You're constantly going through. Now we're going to test you, because we went through plenty of millions of white people. Now we're going to test you. And it's just like, okay, thank you. Can I see those results really quick? Okay, yeah, let me. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. All right. So now I'll be comfortable doing that. But don't just sit there. And there was a country in Africa where I think when this whole pandemic started, when they were like, we want to start testing. We're testing these countries, and this one country, the leader of the country, he was just saying, no, you're not going to test here. You're not going to use us as guinea pigs, as your pet experiments for your vaccines. Try it on your own people. Use it on them. Do not come over here to us. We are not doing it anymore. And that's how we need to be. And they're trying to get people who look like us, other doctors and nurses, like, yes, I mean, I know it's a lot of Black people who are afraid, but it's okay. So they're trying to basically put up that Black face to convince you that, hey, come on in and take this vaccine. It's fine. It's fine. You trust me, right? I'm a Black person. And it sucks, because they're using all these tricks to try to get us in there to take this vaccine, take this test. And if we die, if we're mangled to the point that we don't even look like ourselves, or maybe our mental chemistry, all of the connections and everything in our brain is just out of whack. They don't care. They really don't care. And I'm just saying all of this so that way you know what's going on. You know what happened to me. So when I was flying back in LA, I was forced to sign a document saying that I will at least adhere to a recommendation to quarantine. And if I didn't sign it, I would have been fined $500. So I mean, it's crazy, because it's just like, okay, if you're gonna do that, then what's next? So just like I said, if you want to get food, you got to get vaccinated. We're not telling you, we're not forcing you to get vaccinated, but if you want to eat, you need to get vaccinated in order to get inside this store. If you want to go to this, whatever you need to get vaccinated in order to get access to this area. If you want to do this, you got to get vaccinated in order to get entry, to get access. So we need to be careful of that, and we need to push back against that, to where it's like, and they're going to use celebrities, of course, to push, like, I took the vaccine, you should take the vaccine, and all of this stuff. And if you want to take the vaccine, that is completely, I'm not necessarily saying don't. I'm just saying be careful. Because of history, it's like Frank, my guest before, Frank W. Johnson, said, we are the United States of amnesia, because how quickly we forget what has been done to us, or that this entire government like covers up a lot of the stuff that they do to us. So I'm just saying all of that just for all of us just to be safe. There's a lot of money to be made off of this vaccine, and um, at the risk of just black bodies, black lives. They don't care about us. They don't care about our communities. They don't care how we feel about it. So we have to really push back and show them, like, no, we're not. No, this isn't happening anymore. This isn't going to happen anymore. I refuse to allow this to happen. So I just want to say that I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you. I wanted to keep this short. I didn't want to take too much of your time. If you're watching, please make sure that you're hitting the like button so that more people can see this. Share this video so that people can see what's going on. Seriously, we need all the likes we can get. Like, and share this video so that more people can see that. If you want to follow me, I am on the JT Effect on Facebook, on YouTube, the JT Effect. I also have a podcast. I keep forgetting to mention the podcast, but I have a podcast, and you can stream it on Spotify, Google Play, Apple. Listen to me there. If you don't have time to watch the entire video, just follow me, JT Effect, and all of my video. Even if there's some stuff that I don't even post here. There's some videos. There's some audio episodes there that you can listen to. You can ride on your way to work. You can clean up the house and listen to me talk about this stuff. Also, if you want to make some money with during this pandemic, you're trying to figure out ways to make money, or learn to manage your money, go subscribe to Fly Nubian Money. It's right there. I put in the tag. Fly Nubian Money. Go there if you want to learn how to budget and manage your money better, because that's something we definitely need to do. This is the best time to do it because we have all of this time during a pandemic. So once things kind of start going back to normal, we need to be on our A game, be ahead of the curve, and know what to do with these assets when we retrieve them. So yeah, just like Riddle said, thumbs up, thumbs up. So hit that like button. We need to hit the like button. We need more people to see videos like this. I know I've been kind of MIA this week. Like I said, I've been visiting my family, and my parents are extremely loud. They have the TV blasting, so I wouldn't have been able to really talk to y'all, and the Wi-Fi was kind of janky here and there. So I will just be doing more videos this week, so that way that I can be talking to y'all and kind of make up for not being there last week. But anyway, I appreciate you all. I love you all. Make sure that you're just being aware of what's going on, but also try to detach a little bit so that way you can have some kind of peace of mind, because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. I don't want y'all too stressed out. So I care about y'all. I really do. All right. Love y'all. See y'all later in a few days. All right. Peace.